Hello guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Very happy you're here. Another video talking about your growth, your success, how to multiply your success. That's what we want to talk about on this channel, is how to multiply your results, not how to incrementally grow, how to exponentially multiply. That's what we love to do here. So today's episode is very interesting actually, because it was inspired by a billboard I saw here in Dubai the other day. I think it was from Standard Chartered. Okay, it was a bank. If I remember correctly, that's what it was from. And the slogan is one of, I love bars here. I'm always dropping bars. And I love slogans. I love bars because you remember the bars. Like curiosity leads to clarity, clarity leads to confidence. I love all those things, right? But one on this billboard, it was so good, I wish I thought of it. And it said, act on insights, not on hindsight. And I think it was maybe to do with investing or something, but it was act on insights, not on hindsight. And I thought, wow, that's so profound, because I talk a lot about insights. As you know, if you're listening to YouTube, me on YouTube for a while, if you've been listening to the podcast, I talk, if you're in my coaching programs, potentially in my business mentorship, I talk a lot about insights, because from a neuroscience point of view, our brain learns through insights. Our mind is like an antenna. It receives, and we don't create the thoughts, we receive the thoughts, and we receive insights. And when we receive an insight, there's a global shift in the brain. And suddenly everything is different. If you think about it, when you get an idea in your business or in your life, like you're showering or you're gone for a run, and suddenly you get this idea and everything changes, your whole perspective changes. That's an insight. And for me, I'm a big believer in insights and in creating an environment for you to receive insights. And even my book, Back to Me, which is coming out shortly, we talk about that. Like getting back to me allows you to be in a position to receive. So I don't like manifestation. I prefer receiving mode. It's something I've been teaching my clients for years. I have hundreds of people now who've been in receiving mode and they've received miracles. It's been beautiful on all aspects of their life. But it comes from insights. So the way I lay it out is basically what happens once you heal yourself. So sometimes we get insights, all insights are good. But sometimes we get ideas that we mistake for insights that aren't really insights. And that's why it's so important that you heal first. You have to let go of some of the pain, the hurt, the mental and emotional programming and patterns that we have unconsciously. That's why I think it's really valuable if you work with a coach. Doesn't matter if it's me or not, find someone you're aligned with. But when you can do some of the work and you can let go of some of the hurt and pain and the stories you've bought into for decades, you create space. Okay, once you start to let go and heal, that's why my book is called Back to Me. My podcast is Back to Me. 2 of my coaching programs are Back to Me. Once you let go of all the illusion, you get back to you, which is truth, back to ultimately back to God, okay, who you're meant to be. Once you do that, you let go of all the noise, all the non-truths, all the stories. You raise your frequency, you raise your vibration, you basically clear yourself up. You become more potent, more powerful, more intentional, more direct. Your standards become clearer, your boundaries become stronger, and you allow yourself to receive insights. And they're insights because you've done a lot of work, you have a lot more clarity, you have a lot more self-awareness. Therefore, you're much more capable of recognizing what's an insight and what's an illusion. When you act on insights, this is what I call getting into receiving mode. You get those insights, you trust yourself to act on it. I call it inspired action because it came from an insight. Then you allow yourself to receive. You get yourself into receiving mode. So when I saw that billboard the other day, act on insights, on hindsight, I thought, wow, I wish I thought of that because it would go perfectly with what I talk about around insights all the time. And that's what I want you to do today. This is a video for you personally and for you professionally. I want you to act on insights instead of hindsight. Hindsight's when you look back, and they always say hindsight is 20/20. When you look back and it's like, oh, I wish I did that. And we all have it. That's why Jim Rohn said, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons, right? Regret is heavy. And decisions we wish we made or we wish we didn't make is heavy. I want you to start projecting yourself forward. Imagine if you didn't do this. Or imagine if you did do this, how would you feel? Imagine you did take that step, or imagine you didn't take that step, how would you feel? And if you can project yourself in your mind, and this is the key part of today's episode, is you can avoid the regret of hindsight. You can reduce the clarity that comes from hindsight, and you can increase the clarity that comes from insight, or foresight in this case, because you're getting it up front. So foresight leads to insights, which stops hindsight. Yeah, see, I knew I'd make it better somehow. I just needed to play with it. And I could improve further. That was the first draft. So let's see where it goes from there. If you can do that, if you can use your mind, that's why most people don't use their imagination enough. They don't use it at all. because they don't know they can have these tools. They don't know how they can utilize it fully. It's like having a really powerful car and you don't know all the things it can do. It's like even your iPhone. Do you ever see these videos on YouTube about 10 things you didn't know you could do with your iPhone or your MacBook? And you're like, I had no idea you could do that. There's way more power in your hands, but you didn't know you could do it. Well, you have a supercomputer between your ears, behind your eyes, and we don't know how we can use it. That's why I have this YouTube channel. That's why I have the podcast. That's why I'm writing the book, is to share some of the things I've learned over the last 20 years and 15 years working with thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people over the last 20 years I've spoken to and worked with directly or indirectly to help you understand how powerful you are. And one of the most amazing tools is your imagination. And we don't use it because we do use it, but in the wrong way. We use it looking back. We use it looking at the unfavorable outcomes. We look at the undesirable outcomes. I do it myself. My mind goes into things I don't want and fears and doubts and insecurities and things I don't want. And we have to be more aware, not disciplined. No, forget discipline. Awareness. You need to be more aware. And if you use your imagination for what it's correctly used for, to project into the future, to be more awake, to get clarity and guidance on your future, on your awake self, you're going to get insights from that clarity. Okay, you're going to get insights. And then you're going to say, how would I feel if, because your mind doesn't know what's real and what's not, right? So when you actually like watch a movie that's hilariously funny and you're feeling joyful, or if it's scary and you're feeling terrified, or if it's a thriller and you're feeling nervous, like that's not real, but your brain and your body thinks it's real. So it's the same thing with your imagination. I tell it with sales guys all the time, or speakers, when you're people who want to be a better speaker, and I do speaker training, you have to go forward in your imagination. Touch it, taste it, hear it, smell it, feel it. What does it look like? What does it taste like? What could feel the emotion first in your imagination and then feel it for real? Like the emotion of walking on stage, you never want that to be first time. You want to first go in your imagination. When you go on stage, you want it to be the second time. Now you're still going to feel the emotion, but it'll be less than if you don't rehearse it in your mind first. So that's how you can act on insights instead of hindsight, is when you project yourself forward and you say, who would I be if I went down this path? Who would I be? What would it mean if I did this, if I took this step? And then you make a decision. If it feels good and if it feels right in your heart, in your body, in your imagination, your mind's eye, boom, you take action. Now, it might not be right 100% of the time. That's okay. But it's definitely 100% more likely to be better than if you don't do it. And that's the thing about a lot of people, is they don't have the awareness, they don't develop that skill, and they go blindly down a road. They go blindly forward without projecting and using their imagination to think, what would it be like if I did? What would it be like if I didn't? What could it feel like? And the people who do use their imagination tend to go towards the negative first. Like, what if it doesn't work out? And what if this happens? Whereas visionaries and optimists and people who have a upbeat, more excited, more visionary, this mindset, they're more likely to be optimistic. They tend to say, what if it does work out? What if it does go exactly like, and even if it doesn't, they're okay with it. So even if you are using your imagination, be careful that you're not using it for unfavorable outcomes, for undesirable outcomes, okay, for fears, for doubts. And I do it too. It's constantly part of the human experience. The mind, because the brain is looking to keep you safe and save energy. So it's designed to look for risk. Unfortunately, today, most of the stuff we feel isn't from a real threat. It's not fear. It's more anxiety. It's worry. Like, worry is like an anticipation of something that's not even real. Fear is based on like a real threat, like the tiger in the bush or the whatever, okay, that's out there, whatever animal, like back in the day, that could eat you, the crocodile by the river when you're fishing. That's a real fear because there's a real threat. But this, what if I can't pay the bill? Or what if we don't make the sale? Or what if I create a course and no one buys it? Or what if I leave my job and I can't get another one? Or what if I leave this relationship and I'm alone forever? All these undesirable outcomes, all these anxieties and worries aren't real. They're based on illusion. They're based on fear. They're based on insecurity. There's no truth to them. They don't exist. So you want to use your imagination for the right purpose. You want to use your imagination for your highest good and greatest joy. And you want to make sure that you're becoming more and more aware, becoming more and more diligent in the decisions you're making. And you set that intention. I want to act from insights. I want to act from truth, from clarity. I don't want to act from fear, from doubt, and looking back at hindsight, saying, I wish I did this or I wish I didn't do that. So I hope you got some value from this. Let me know in the comments if you did. Let me know what resonated. What's your biggest takeaway from this video? Thank you to Standard Chartered for the inspiration for this episode. I really like that slogan they've created. I'm definitely going to use it, and I'm going to improve on it, just so you know, if anyone from Standard Chartered is watching and you want some bars for the future, I'm your guy. See you guys in the next one.